Hi and welcome to Dirtbike's off-road video series. Today we have almost the last of a dying breed. This is the 2023 Honda CRF 450X. This is a legitimate off-road bike in every way. Most of the other 450s sold for off-road riders are either full race competition bikes or stuffed up dual sport bikes. The Honda CRF 450X is a real trail bike, and it's one of very few full-size motorcycles that's still eligible for a California green sticker. Yamaha, KTM, Husqvarna, Gas, and Beta don't have any that pass the test anymore. What's going on in California is a subject for another day, but for here and now, the 450X is legit, and it's a wonderful machine. To be honest, we think of the Honda as sort of an unofficial dual sport bike. The guys at Honda probably cringe to hear us say that because they have a real dual sport bike in the CRF 450 RL, which is based on the same platform. In truth, this is a better bike, and in many states you can license it. Not in California, of course, but that's California. The original CRF 450X lasted from 2005 to 2018 with a carburetor. That bike won something like 11 Baja 1000s, and this one picked up right where that one left off. But in stock form, it's no race bike. The bike that the SLR Honda team used to win the Baja 1000 in November is highly modified. Like we said, this bike is based on the CRF 450 RL dual sport bike. The X produces more power than the L because of a different EFI map, a larger head pipe, and a less restrictive muffler that has no built-in catalytic converter. Honda left off the street legal stuff, of course. The headlight is a halogen unit instead of an LED. There's no kickstand kill switch, no blinkers, no hang-down part on the license plate area. The X doesn't have a keyed ignition, and the instrumentation is a little more Spartan. On top of that, the suspension has slightly different settings, but like the L, the fork and shock are high-end KYB units. Without the DOT equipment, the X is lighter than the L. It's 263 pounds on our scale without gas, whereas the RL is 14 pounds heavier. The new X has a great power delivery. It's super quiet and pure fun on the trail. It's a stark contrast to the closed course competition bike like the KTM 450 XCF and Honda's own CRF 450 RX. The X has excellent torque, but when it gets into the arm yanking zone, it's far milder than a 450 race bike. We did have some problems with occasional flame outs. That's typical of bikes that have emission hardware. Even if the standards are looser for this bike than they are for the street, it's still on the lean side. The Honda strong point is suspension. It's soft, but that's perfectly appropriate given its mission in life. At speed, the bike is super stable. It gets more and more secure and comfortable as speeds get higher and higher. That's one of the reasons that this bike is the chosen one for Baja racers. When you're crossing desert whoops at 60 miles an hour, the bike goes dead straight. After a day of that, you kind of lose your perspective. You feel like 40 miles an hour is like walking speed. The bike's top speed, we estimate, is around 90 miles an hour. Another reason they love it is that the Honda did a great job with the gear ratios. First gear is taller than you might expect, but that's actually a good thing. Too often, 6-speed gearboxes have a granny gear that's so low it's unusable. All those Baja teams have different formulas for getting the X up to race speed. It has to start off with a different ignition, of course. Some shops say they can remap the stalker, which is supposedly locked, but most teams go to a Vortex. You can use the stock head with a little headwork and the RX cam. The muffler is the main issue. Not only is it restrictive, but it's heavy. There are a number of aftermarket companies that know what to do. Colton Udah's Champion Adventures, JCR, and San Diego Power Sports, to name a few. You don't have to do any of that to enjoy the CRF 450X though. This is one of the few EPA legal trail bikes that we consider 100% ready for the trail in stock form. There are no throttle stops to remove, no holes to cut in the airbox, and nothing to buy. We give Honda all the credit in the world, not just for making a real 450 trail bike, but for making it so well. If you enjoyed this production, we have more for you on YouTube. And we'll have more on the Honda CRF 450X at dirtbikemagazine.com coming up. You can keep up to date by following us on Facebook and Instagram, and we're on the newsstand too. Thanks for checking in with us.